be happy to take any questions as long as I can answer them. By the way, this gentleman acknowledged me for knowing my business. I was so shocked and surprised that you did that. Well, but just the same, it's an under the carpet one, and I can assure you that when I get home tonight, one of the memories I'm going to have from this evening is you acknowledging me that way, so thank you.
I was wondering now I'll talk lower. I was wondering if you could tell us anything about
We're both fine.
your paintings, your acting, your
Sure.
the other things besides real estate. How did you get into it, and what did you do, and how did it feel?
Pretty much all of the things that I've had one-man shows. I've had a lot of recognition for my painting. I'm very proud of my painting. When I was 40 years old, I never ever would have thought I had any art within me at all. My first really indulgence into the arts was getting a piano and thinking probably at the age of 32 or 33, I'd like to be able to play the piano. I went out and bought the best piano that I found. I had a piano teacher I found that was absolutely incredible. And for 8 years, I practiced diligently. I've been running 6 days a week for 40 years. I've been keeping a journal for 35 years, and I write in it every day. So there's certain things. The animal in the jungle that I am is one that's really good with discipline, except sometimes I say the wrong thing. Anyway, but so with the piano stuff, after about 8 years of diligent practicing, I got to the place where I could either get the notes right or the rhythm right. Relatively never both at the same time. So that ended my piano playing. What pretty much got me and has me doing all of the things, including this evening, is wanting to reinvent myself to get aliveness and joy. At that part of my life, I was trying to run away from problems. They were just, okay, I didn't have a fun thing to do here, and I didn't have a companion that enjoyed doing the thing I wanted to do there. So piano playing filled the day. And then when piano playing didn't do it, I tried painting. And the way I got into painting is I live in West LA. I saw an ad for a painting class at Beverly Hills High School. I was probably 45 at the time, and the people in the room when I went there, I was by far a child. It was like being in Leisure World, and someone, they put magazines out, a piece of paper, and something almost like crayons, and said, copy the pictures there. And I enjoyed doing that. But after I found I had a little ability for it, I moved up to UCLA Extension. And at UCLA Extension, I just picked up more. And I assure you, there isn't one single person in this room that can't be a wonderful artist. You have that God-given talent. But that past base voice in our head says something to the effect of the little girl that raised her hand and got laughed at. I'm going to get laughed at. So I would guess not more than 10% of you will have the guts to try and do art. And if you tried it, you would do fabulous. A problem you'll have is what you choose to paint, what you choose to draw may not fit your picture. Art is by agreement. If you go to see what Picasso does, if you were 400, 500 years ago before Cubism came to be, they would say his stuff is hideous and needs to be. They need to put that guy in the stock. They need to torture that guy. But by agreement today, we say it's great. So probably the things you guys may do on your first year or two of doing your art is going to be pre-Cubism Picasso. So that's how I got into doing it, all by trying to fill a void in my life. Yes?
Yeah, your presentation was very thorough and complete and clear and made sense. I'm wondering about your own teachers or traditions. Like, did this come from reflection, introspection, or have you been part of
There is nothing I said that wasn't on the walls of the pyramid. The only thing anybody in any of these fields has to contribute is the way they say it. There is nothing that I said that Socrates didn't say. Socrates has a quote that, how does it go? That a life unexplored is a life not lived. That's at the heart of everything I just said. Believe me, there is not an original word I said. I got every word of it from someone else. There are a few things like the guacamole. The guacamole, I got that while I was swimming tonight. And I've always had, as my two most supportive friends in the world, Marvin and Sam, say, they always laugh at the way I put words together and say, that's amusing. Sometimes I have a nice way of linking thoughts together, but nothing original. My pool at home. Cool.
I guess, Stephen, we're always interested in the breakdown before the breakthrough. Are you willing to share that story with us, or is it something very private?
It's both, and I will do it. The breakthrough, and by the way, we have many breakthroughs, and we live life at different levels. And we are all growing beings. We just don't grow at the same place. And I truly believe in that, if you believe in that white light theory, at the end of your life, you may make all the breakthroughs in the last cosmic second. But what you're talking about, and by the way, Adrian was very kind and read my book before asking me to come. So I cannot tell you how much that pleases me. I've been doing radio interviews, maybe 40 of them so far, and they're all over the country. And I would guess about a third of them, the people take the trouble to see what you have to say. And the other 2/3 are filling time, and they're just asking questions that are not thought-provoking. And so I thank you for saying that, and I thank you for asking the question. The breakdown that probably is the biggest breakdown in my 60s was a 27-year marriage that had probably been really nice for 7, 8, 9 years, had gotten distant. And it had gotten where, by the way, there are 3 things in a marriage that can't work. If you have all 3 things, you might as well make your life happier somewhere else. The 3 things are if both parties are in pain. Second of it is if your needs are not getting met. And I forgot for a moment what the third is, but it matches the other 2. If you got where absolutely nothing is working, you have to do something. At that time, in that way, the familiar pain was about this high up. And I did everything I knew to get past that. Even went out and bought a new condominium to have where I would move to, and I let my partner know, wow, we have these problems. I don't want to leave the marriage, but I also can't live in this way. And then she was equally as stuck as me, and she came up with a way of forcing the issue. And in my machinery, my patterns, my organizational pattern said, wow, what she did, can't live with. So that was the breakdown. And when that breakdown comes, you start opening up for new possibilities. And it's just like I was saying, when you can own those possibilities, when you're taking responsibility for it. Now, there wasn't my former wife is a lovely, lovely woman, a lovely woman. She had her own issues. Her voice in her head is very territorial, and she had very little, she was getting very little comfort for it. I have an ability to go out and try and ask everyone in my presence, hey, can you help me out by telling me where I'm fucked up and, and what I should do? She could never bring her dirty laundry to the rest of the world. So she couldn't even bring it to someone. She couldn't, so if you get the point. So once you get to that breakdown where you just can't live in the way, then all of a sudden you are in new territory. And then the familiar pain is too much to be with because the machinery says so. Now you go into unfamiliar. And wow, it was so much better in the unfamiliar. But you're never going to know that unless the breakdown comes where you get the chance. That answer your question? Yeah, and by the way, I don't mean to brag. I have one of the biggest TVs ever. It's 103 inches. Marvin and Sam, I love you both. Victoria, I love you enormously. Thank you all for the opportunity. If you choose to buy the book, please read it.